If change comes to the region, it won't be because of U.S. efforts, but in spite of them. From that role, these commentaries are recorded by Noel and Prison Radio.
Mumia Abu-Jamal, say what?
This will be integrated into corruption and stupidity of the leaders to U.S.
Wall by wall, we're gonna free. Mumia Abu-Jamal, we said brick by brick. Wall by wall, we're gonna free. Mumia Abu-Jamal, we said brick by brick. Wall by wall, free. Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Look, those kids are in a hell that Kafka could not dream of. It's like it's a big bombshell when they come out and make the claim because it plays to national fear. And then years later when they say, oh, well, we were wrong. No one hears it because the damage is done.
So why is it this deep so important?
This role is in the state correctional institution and it's brain and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Prison beat, it's just not covered. It's such a huge defining part of our culture.
And, one would think that in a quote-unquote democracy, that there would be a place for those stories to be told. But, who owns newspapers, especially now? Certainly several years ago, who owns media? 30 years, over 600,000 combatants were killed. Over Vietnam. Right. Isn't it interesting that the war fought to preserve slavery? They fought in a nation called Land of the Free. From 1861 to 1865.
Okay, well, I'm here now.
And here's that. The U.S. Congress passed the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. And it would take nearly 100 years.
Yeah, they were here. Did you talk to them? They said that they were here.
Rather than brought equality. The news who won the French Television was real. I watched a 50-year-old black and white movie on TNC. It was French, with subtitles. But oddly enough, it was about an American in Paris. It starred a beautiful young actress named Jean Seberg. I doubt most of you will know the name, but check out Real Food, and you'll see how the FBI, the gossip press, drove her into miscarriage, suicide, only because she was a supporter of the Black Panther Party. It's real, y'all, and it's up and running today. I thank you all. One long job. From Death Row, this is Mumia Abu-Jamal. To Pam Africa, in a matter of months, two former high-ranking and prominent members of the Black Panther Party returned to their ancestors, largely unknown and barely reported. During the 1960s and 70s, they were well-known and targets of government surveillance, as well as efforts to imprison and destroy. In October 2010, migrants set ashore to war. One head of the New York branch of the party, but also one of the founders of New York Panther 21, died in Lusaka, Zambia, in Central Africa, at the age of 64. In February of this year, John D. Kaufman wrote books of their lives in the party, but neither have been published. They believed in black revolution, the right of foreign self-defense, and the establishment of a black revolutionary political party to help usher in black national independence and freedom. They fought as warriors for their beliefs and never stopped believing. They died on different continents, but their hearts remained in black America.
And she said she told us to wait. She told me someone right now.
These commentaries are recorded by Noel and Prison Radio. Even some short time, there are tens of thousands of men and women who actually are such a thing. And like most people, they're heirs to all the winds of wit, good and bad, competent and incompetent, large-hearted and petty. Years ago, before I entered the House of Death, I interviewed a man in Philadelphia's Holmesburg prison who was quite opinionated on the subject. His name was Debo Africa, a well-known member of the Revolutionary Youth Organization, who soon would face a de facto life sentence in Pennsylvania's dungeons for being among 9 people who had to merit him to survive. assault on their own headquarters on August 8, 1978. Southern Africa was an elegant interviewee who spoke with a distinctive country accent. His conversation peppered with passion, reason, and commitment. He spoke disparagingly about Johan's lawyers. When I asked him why he felt this way, he responded, "Them dudes getting over all the law movement before you know it, they be crazy as hell to take on such significance." From that book, this is Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Yeah, right there, brother. That's powerful, though, man.
This call is from the State Correctional Institution at Warning and is subject to monitoring and recording.
You still there, my brother?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, indeed. I tell you, though, brother, it's not just the powerful, important words, but it's also the style and the form, though, man. I hear little Curtis Mayfield in your voice, you know.
When it comes time to voice an objection to how they treated her, then they want to come with the cops. Then they want to come with security. They don't want to hear. This is what our complaint is.
Going to be free press. Officer Jones, what's your badge number? Officer Jones, what's your badge number? Officer Jones?
150 years ago, shells were locked, deferred something.
So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us on this Friday afternoon, including Mumia Abu-Jamal. This is a cold Friday afternoon, but we gather here in a time-honored tradition of people coming out into the streets and getting on a soapbox to bring justice to American society, to our communities, to the media, and to the government when the government refuses to address issues of racism, inequality, and injustice. The reason why we're gathering here today is because the Fraternal Order of Police has stirred up controversy over President Obama's nominee to the Department of Justice, Debo Adegbile. I was called by Fox News about a week ago to speak on the issue, on the case of Mumia Abu-Jamal. Within 40 minutes of a phone call, I was at Fox News, and what proceeded to happen was a circus, during which I was shut down and not given enough time to develop an argument around what we know is one of the most important cases in 20th century American history. The manner in which Fox News handled the situation is reprehensible. It speaks to a false journalism, and it represents a kind of bully tactic that's meant to silence our side and silence dissent. If Fox News would allow me to speak on this case, I would say that Mumia is innocent.
That's right.
That even though their program and the Fraternal Order of Police is obsessed with calling Mumia a cop killer, the fact is that the people who are known in American society for terrorizing innocent people in the streets are killer cops.
That's right.
And part of what they're doing is projecting onto us, onto people who fight for justice, what they themselves are guilty of. So once again, the people who are known in urban centers across this country, both black, white, Latino, the people who are known for terrorizing people in the street and killing them with abandon are killer cops. Mumia, at the time of his incarceration, was an award-winning journalist who in fact won a coveted award called the Armstrong Award, awarded by Columbia University to radio journalists, and he got this award for his coverage of the Pope's visit to Philadelphia. He was an award-winning journalist. He was a journalist who was responsible for exposing the manner in which MOVE had been attacked by the cops. He was known for exposing police brutality and corruption in City Hall, and for those reasons he was framed in the courts by the prosecution, the racist cop, the racist cops and the judge. One of the most important things about this case is that 15 of the 35 police officers involved in collecting evidence in the Mumia Abu-Jamal trial were charged and convicted for tampering with evidence to obtain a conviction only weeks after the end of Mumia's trial. Now, had Mumia been tried by a jury of his peers, by black jurors, the jury would not have believed what those corrupt cops were saying. Why? Because black people have a very different relationship to the cops than white people in this country. Mumia was railroaded in the courts. He was not tried by a jury of his peers, but most importantly, the existence of exculpatory evidence was suppressed at trial. There was a fourth person at the scene of the trial, someone by the name of Kenneth Freeman, that was suppressed at trial by the prosecution and by the judge. That same person, Kenneth Freeman, the fact that he was at the crime scene and seen running away from the crime scene was acknowledged in a concurrent trial that was happening at the time, that of Billy Cook. And in fact, one of the prosecution's major witnesses, Cynthia White, acknowledges the presence of this fourth person at Billy Cook's trial. So we want to ask the Fraternal Order of Police, and we want to ask Fox News, why was that exculpatory evidence suppressed? I want to just end by saying the following. I read not long ago the letter that the Fraternal Order of Police wrote to the President of the United States protesting the Adegbile nomination. This is really important, guys. Part of what that letter argues is that Mumia's attorneys falsely used the claim of racism to get Mumia off a death row. Now, shucks, I think this might be Mumia calling me. Oh no. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again because this is probably the most important bit of information that you should know about the tactics of the Fraternal Order of Police. So the Fraternal Order of Police wrote in their letter that Mumia's attorneys were race baiting and falsely using race to get Mumia off a death row. Now that is an absolute fabrication and lie, and an example of how the Fraternal Order of Police, in fact, uses race and distorts race and racial divisions to delegitimize the claims of Mumia Abu-Jamal and all of the people who've been wrongly incarcerated by the state. The fact is that the issue on which Mumia was taken off a death row was the Mills claim, which had absolutely nothing to do with racism and had everything to do with the manner in which the jury was instructed. Now this is important because the reason why Mumia was sent to death row was because the jury thought that no one of them could actually ask to hear something about Mumia's character. They thought that in order to hear evidence on Mumia's character, they all had to agree to hear this. But any one of them could have said, I want to know more about this man. If they had not been improperly instructed, the defense would have said, well, members of the court, you are sending to death one of the most noted journalists of this city, someone who's been identified by Philadelphia Magazine as a journalist
to watch because of his brilliant work. And someone would have said that, in fact, this man just got one of the most coveted awards in radio journalism, the Columbia University Armstrong Award for Excellence in Broadcasting, and he got that for his report on the Pope's visit to Philadelphia. Someone would have said that this is an upstanding leader in our community, a family man who loves his wife and his children, and he should not be sent to his death. But that was not allowed to be heard because the jury was misinstructed. That is known as the Mills claim. And that is the reason why 4 judges decided that Mumia's death sentence was unconstitutional. Again, an example of how the police, the Fraternal Order of Police, distorts the facts, manipulates information to essentially delegitimize the fact that we stand on the right side of history. We're bringing Mumia home. This movement is building, it's growing. You should read the letter that we are sending to the president, and we need to build this movement from the bottom up, because ultimately the fight for Mumia is about the struggle to stop the state from putting so many people in prison, throwing people away, and essentially the fight to bring Mumia home is tied up in the issue of building a new society, a different society on a completely different, priorities. So thank you.
People that don't have the facts and not trying to get the information, they just want to keep saying the same rhetoric over and over and over as they have for 30-some years. And what we have to do is continue doing what we're doing. We have to continue to get the word out. We have to continue to say it. And the more times we say it, the more people we will convert to understand that Mumia is innocent and we want him to come home. So that's why we are here. And I appreciate the opportunity to be here today because Mumia is innocent. Mumia is innocent.
Right, that means come on!
Mumia is innocent, and we're here to bring him home. Thank you very much.
They're pissed off because Mumia wasn't killed. That's what they argue. Those letters, Maureen Faulkner and the FOP, what they keep saying, he was wrongfully removed from death row and wrongfully put into general population. We're fighting for Mumia's innocence. We're saying Mumia should never have been in prison one day. He never should have even been arrested, given how much question there was. And now, these people, with all the evidence that's been raised about Mumia's innocence, all the questions, if you were halfway honest, even if you didn't like Mumia, you wouldn't argue that he should have been killed. You would have said there should be some more investigation of the possibility of his being innocent. It is frightening that these people get on the radio and on TV and that Fox News gives them that kind of podium, that kind of opportunity to put their fascistic message out. We cannot allow people like the FOP to intimidate government.
Okay, so now we're going to hear from the fearless Ramona Africa, the heart and soul of the MOVE organization, and one of 2 survivors of the MOVE bombing, Ramona Africa.
On the move, long-lived revolution. The first thing I want to say is that John Africa taught MOVE people a long time ago who the real liar is, who the real criminal is, and I just want to point out the reason that Fox News and most of the media don't want Johanna or Pam or anybody else that knows the facts to speak is because they can't dispute the truth. They are liars. These officials, media people are known to be blatant liars. But we the people are not. I mean, this country, its officials, was founded on lies, on rape, or robbery, or murder, or crime. The people are not founded on these things. The people don't operate on these things. But the government does, and people know that. People know that. So let's get down to the real nitty-gritty here. Let the truth boil out. Move, the concerned family and friends of Mumia Abu-Jamal, any of the committees in support of Mumia have never, ever tried to shut people up. The FOP, any of these, hateful, racist journalists, we had never tried to shut them up. But they consistently try to shut us up and keep us from speaking because they know the lie cannot stand up to the truth. And what will be crystallized to people is that this has nothing to do with Daniel Faulkner. This has everything to do with Mumia Abu-Jamal, the voice of the voiceless, the man that has consistently put the truth out there and exposed this rotten-ass system. That's the bottom line. The only reason people know the name Daniel Faulkner is because of Mumia Abu-Jamal. You ask people the name of other cops that have gotten killed in the last 5 years, and they can't tell you. They can't tell you. But they know Daniel Faulkner's name because of Mumia, and their intent to kill off Mumia, to try to stop him from telling the truth. But just like their plan to execute him fell through, didn't work, was stopped by the power of the people, their plan to keep him in prison for the rest of his life without the possibility of parole is falling through too, because of the power of the people. Because when the people come together and put forth a strong effort, demand what's right, we can't be stopped. And that's the bottom line. On the move, long live revolution, long live the spirit of resistance, long live Mumia Abu-Jamal, long live the Move 9, long live all freedom fighters, and long live John Africa. On the move.
I just want to say that when you've gone through war, as the MOVE organization has gone through with the state essentially dropping a bomb on their house, you learn some lessons that are imprinted in your soul and in every cell of your body, and that's what explains that incredible speech by Ramona Africa, the soul and heart of the MOVE organization. Because once again, when you've been through war, things become very clear. What side are you on is very clear. The injustice of the system and the manner in which it works becomes very clear. We're going to hear from Tony, who wants to say a few words. Dr. Tony Montero, who's a professor of African American Studies at Temple University and a longtime friend of Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Thank you very much. In case we've forgotten, this is Martin Luther King's weekend. He would have turned 85 a few days ago. And I just want to remind us of Dr. King's words as he led the civil rights and human rights struggles in this country. Because he spoke to white America after a point. He said to white America, be true to what you say you are about. What you wrote on paper, live up to it. You claim to be the land of freedom and liberty, a land where law trumps everything else. If you're about that, live it.
That's right.
You know, as we stand here and carry out, as Mumia does, our right to freedom of speech, our right to protest for what is right, and you see the manner that so many of our white fellow citizens disrespect this right while claiming to uphold it. At some point, white America has to confront itself and its own contradictions. It is not Mumia that they fear. It is the truth that Mumia represents that white America fears. It is not Mumia that the FOP fears. It is the truth that Mumia represents that they fear. Now, just one last thing. King was fond of quoting James Russell Lowell, who said in the middle of the 19th century, at the height of the enslavement of Africans, truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. But it is the scaffold that they build to execute the prophets of truth. It is the scaffold that sways the future. And it is we who are on the right side of history. If this country is to survive the 21st century, if it is to survive, white America, the ball is in your court now. We African Americans have done our best. We have done all that we can do to bring civilization and humanity to this land of profit and greed. White America, the ball is in your court. Do what you said you believed in. Thank you very much. Free Mumia, free the Move 9, free all political prisoners, and let us never forget the exemplary human being that passed away a few days ago, who would have been here with us today had he not died, the great Amiri Baraka. Thank you very, very much.
They locked Mumia up, but Mumia has never been their prisoner. And that's really what this struggle is about, that they've not been able to silence his critique, his analysis, and the dissent that he represents. We're going to bring Sandy Joy to the podium here to say a few words.
I'll be brief. I just want to say it's with great pride that I stand amongst my comrades here today. For many years I've been in protest, and I respect and admire each and every one of you. And I want to reiterate everything that you're saying, Tony. You're right. It's not about Mumia. It's about the truth. It's about us standing up for the truth. That's why they're afraid of our message. That's why they're afraid of Johanna being on Hannity. That's why they will continue to try and shut us down. But I just want to say, it occurred to me, you think everybody's got to know about Mumia by now. Well, I was just passing out flyers. 2 people came by and said, "Who's Mumia?" And as I proceeded to have a conversation with them and Betsy joined me, you can see the look on their face that reminded me of me 20 years ago when I came to Temple University as a grad student from the South. I'd never heard of Mumia or MOVE, and I was outraged when I found out that I had not known. And I found out the injustices that were done against Mumia Abu-Jamal and against the MOVE family. And I have become steadfast ever since to make sure that I speak out against it. And I'm not for certain, but I think we have a couple of new supporters from the people that I just spoke with who took some information from us. So I just want to encourage you. Do not stop talking. Do not speak out, because believe it or not, even here in Philadelphia, you're going to run across people, and I do with my students all the time, who don't know who Mumia is, who don't know who MOVE is. So we need to continue. Don't be discouraged. Keep speaking out and get more and more supporters. Just as I came on board 20 years ago, we may just have a couple more who came on today, and that's how we build our numbers. So free Mumia, free MOVE family, free, and long live John Africa. On the move.
So I think we need to start taking the streets again and tabling and going to every corner in this town and bringing our petitions and educating Philadelphia. We need to take Philadelphia back. Mumia is Philadelphia's native son. We're definitely beginning a campaign in the streets, tabling, soapboxing in the Bronx in the next month. So we're building this campaign there too, and we want to go to DC and we want to go to other places. Okay, I'm going to bring to us the last speaker. This woman is a powerhouse. I have not met a person with so much conviction energy and such a sharpness in her analysis. She is single-handedly responsible for keeping this 32-year movement alive. It's the longest-standing movement in American history after the Civil Rights Movement. Again, a 32-year movement that has brought people from around the country and around the world. Without Pam Africa, this would not have happened. She is one of the heroines of the history of the post-war period of 20th century American history, and we're going to make sure that her name and her story is written about because we need to learn from her commitment, from her analysis, and from her struggle. Without further ado, Pam Africa.
On the move, a long-lived revolution. I want to start off by saying I cannot take the title of the one person that kept it going. And John Africa in 1981 told all new people that we must raise the necessary funds. We must get the information out. We must raise a mighty movement internationally of people who will not back down against this government. Mumia is innocent, and we have to keep pushing and shoving that. So, along with everybody, from the babies in the womb to the babies from here up and out, and to all the other people who have joined us over the years in this fight to free Mumia, you see me in the forefront because that's my activity to be there, as Mona is the Minister of Information, and we brought on people like Johanna and other people. I am Pam Africa. I am the Minister of Confrontation for the MOVE organization. I am the chairwoman of the uncompromising International Concerned Family and Friends of Mumia Abu-Jamal. I am a member of the campaign to bring Mumia home, where we're all working together to continue to put pressure on this government. There's a new wave of people that's working on the front line alongside with us. Campaign to bring Mumia home, which is national and international. And these are some of the things that we're continuing to do. When we saw what happened to Johanna and what was happening with the attorney that wasn't really an attorney on Mumia's case, we saw again the ugly, vicious, terroristic tactics of the Fraternal Order of Police by their bosses, because these puny, unhealthy, sick, distorted mother-suckers and motherfuckers, and I can't do it any other kind of way, and they're pawns in this fight. And what we're saying is, when they come on the front line and talk their stuff about them as a fraternal order, who are the National Association of Black Policemen who stood on the same grounds and stated a national organization that Mumia Abu-Jamal did not receive a fair trial and stood up against the boyism of the Fraternal Order of Police. Who is the organization, that black organization in New York, and who is called Black Cop, who also looked at the facts and stand on the front line and stay constantly. They had been in front of the Fraternal Order of Police. They had been in front of City Hall. I'm just saying some of the people that is involved in this, because it's not just us. A lot of cops are afraid to stand on the front line, but there are those who do, who say Mumia is innocent. The facts point to that. But I want to talk about what our plans is and what we're doing besides this. What you see here is an everyday activity for us. Whether we have a crowd here or whether we in our houses or on our phones, we protest, we put information out, we raising the army. At this particular point, we're raising a war chest. We need money to fight these people. When my sister Johanna and my brother Keith Cook, Mumia's brother, stepped here to ask, can they come in and talk with these people about the wrongs that they did and the misinformation deliberately put out about Mumia? We were confronted by their guards and by the police here, who they told to make sure that nobody can come in. And So again, these intimidations. When Johanna was asked to come, we all could have came up there with her because we know how foul, how filthy these motherfuckers are. But we didn't do that. Johanna went by herself, and they teamed her. In New York, where was the other people reporting from? Because they wasn't with you. From D.C. And they didn't give her a chance to put out the information that was necessary, what they said they came here for. They will say, this isn't about Mumia Abu-Jamal in the case, then what the fuck is they talking about? Why did they bring her here? It was about the case, but they didn't want her to be able to put out the facts. Thanks to the Fraternal Order of Police, Fools on Parade, FOP, we now have a larger platform again to show people who had doubt in their mind. These people got one intention and one intention only, and that is to kill Mumia Abu-Jamal. Some say, free Mumia. We say, release Mumia. Release Mumia now, because that is a free man who is a free man on death row. That is a free man who is now doing life in prison without the possibility of parole. This man speaks his heart. He stands up to this entire government and the bowels and the belly of the beast. That's where he speaks from. What our plan is and what we're planning on doing. We're planning on upstepping an already started movement and helping to give it more breath, and also that we can come at this system like we never had. What you see in this display of going against, going up to Obama is their weakness. They're scared, so they want to try to flex their muscles. They want to try to flap their wings, but then we'll break them motherfucking wings. And with the power of truth, because they cannot stand up to this. We're having a town hall meeting where we're inviting people and to come out and speak out against this and to join in on, and we're also raising a war chest. The war chest is called 64 Mumia. Mumia will be 60 years old this April the 24th. He was 28 years old when these motherfuckers kidnapped him, beat him, stomped him, rammed his head into a pole, and then put him in jail with these terroristic cops, and stepped on a bag that was connected to his lungs and to his urine, and stepping on that, trying to kill Mumia. I'm saying we're raising monies now, and to keep these people backed up. We need money for flyers. We need money to travel around the United States and outside the United States to keep the message of the fact that Mumia is free, to keep the message going that we, the people, have stood up against a government who said very clearly, with all they had, the president, President Clinton, all them other little chumps, and the FOP nationally and internationally, all their news media who said they will kill Mumia. But is Mumia dead? No, they're not dead because of the power of the people. We are powerful when we unite and pull together. Our strength is in showing people how crazy these people are. When they talked about stopping the brother from speaking out, the lawyer from getting his position, and people looking at it for Mumia. It wasn't just Mumia. Do you know how many people have petitions into the Obama administration about the wrongs that they're doing? And let me tell you one thing else. I want people to perfectly understand. And if that man gets elected, I don't know whether he'll do anything or not. And I hear that he is selected and elected. I would love to see him do the right thing. But I have not seen no evidence in the Obama administration, period, about them doing the right thing. I'm saying the reason why he was selected, it was because and put in, that was because of the power of the people. But I believe a deal was struck that if you come in, don't touch that damn case of Mumia. But we want to push, and we're going to push, because this case of Mumia is now internationally known when we did it, but when the FOP stepped in and wrote their letter, Obama, you got to look at two things here. You got to look at what they said and what we said. And when you do that, Obama, you cannot come up with one thing. Release Mumia, and release Mumia now. April, that's right, release Mumia now. In April, and we're having an April weekend for Mumia. This is part of how we're raising funds and educating people. Like I was saying, he'll be 60. April the 24th in Philadelphia, and we're asking people around the world to do an event for Mumia. What we're doing here in Philadelphia, we're having a birthday celebration for Mumia, and we're honoring Amiri Baraka, the word assassin. We're going to honor him through the arts with Mumia. And so that's what we're doing here in Philadelphia, and we're asking other people around the world to do something there. If you can show a film, I'm saying raise monies. Mumia needs money inside that prison for phone calls. Mumia needs money inside that prison for the letters that come from around the world that he got to answer. I'm saying Mumia needs money he has a family, and let's not ever forget that. And Mumia also needs money for the war chest to keep us in the streets and battling these motherfuckers toe to toe. And and I'm getting, if people get upset by the word motherfucker, and I'm saying some people do. This ain't just for us. This is for people who listen. If you didn't shiver when I said the word cop, if you didn't shiver when I said president, if you didn't shiver when I said, Edwin down there, don't shiver when I call them by their rightful name, motherfuckers. Okay? So, we're having the, April 24th for Mumia, the celebration of life, and it's the family reunion of warriors who have been involved in this fight from the very beginning. The new warriors have come in. I became a great-grandmother on this watch, on my ship. I became a great-grandmother. I'm bringing all mine. I'm bringing my brag with me, because all of them stand up and fight for Mumia. We're asking you to bring all you have. Every organization that once was there, come here to the forefront and celebrate the fact that we all together has saved the life of Mumia to this point. Join the movement, join the campaign to bring Mumia home. Go to our website, www.campaigntoBringMumiaHome.com. Go to Indiegogo and 60 for Mumia, and help us raise that 60,000 or more that we're going to need for the war chest to fight this battle. And remember, the people united will never be defeated. Long live John Africa, long live revolution, and down with this rotten ass system on the move.
Brick by brick, wall by wall, we gotta free Mumia Abu-Jamal.